Our first question will be answered. Mr. Woodham, you will begin.
Okay.
2 minutes. What are your thoughts on teacher tenure? 2 minutes.
It's a national topic. In fact, I think it was on the news the other night. It's a topic at the state level. I don't know how much, we haven't really had a lot of discussion with the EACT here, the Edmond Active Classroom Teachers Association. I foresee, though, the way we do business now, presently evaluating teachers, is going to change. I've never been one for tenure. I've done teachers that taught 1 year that have been excellent teachers, and I've done teachers that taught for 15 years who've been out 7 years before. And I've helped a few of them make that adjustment into a different type of job opportunity. I'm not for tenure. It needs to be worked out. I don't think we can change it tonight. We have a valid negotiated agreement with our teachers, so that has to be honored. But I think there's some process that we're going to have to reach, and it's coming. It's a national topic, especially back east in larger school systems, and it's been raised here in Oklahoma too, I think, by some legislators. I don't know our new superintendent of public instruction, Mrs. Parisi. I do not know her exact position on that. She may very likely to have, I don't know. But I'm not a pro. If a teacher is an excellent teacher, they don't have to worry anything about tenure. And I think sometimes tenureship protects the poor teacher. The excellent teacher do well with the kids and parents, so I'm against tenure.
Mr. Blaylock, 2 minutes.
I think tenure is a strange animal, in that it doesn't exist in other parts of the working world. In a job at an oil company, in a job at 7-Eleven, and the company I work at, and the companies I imagine many of you work at, I can't get tenure. I can't be present for employment for 10 years and then count on the job being there for the rest of my working life. And I don't think that tenure is a reasonable expectation. What is the purpose of public education? It's not an employment factor for the teacher. The purpose of public education is to produce educated citizens. That's our kids, our children. That's the product that a school produces, and that's what the focus has to be produced. As Charles was saying, a competent teacher has nothing to worry about in the job security that person has. A competent teacher is going to be valued, he's going to be promoted, he's going to be sought after. That's a good thing. Non-competent, incompetent teachers, yeah, I guess they would have something to worry about in a life without tenure. I think that's a good thing, though. I think it's healthy in any organization, and a school is an organization, to have some level of turnover, so that you're constantly elevating the bar of expectation and the performance that you should demand out of teachers. I'm not in favor of tenure.
Ms. Cameron, 2 minutes.
I agree. Education is really the last profession where we reward excellence. And there's no penalty for failure. So we need to find a way to evaluate teachers besides test scores. Making teaching a profession that's based on respect and performance and not tenure. It cannot be based on seniority. There was a $45 million research program that was aimed at finding ways to distinguish good teachers from bad teachers. And there are suggestions, I guess, systematically over 15,000 districts, public school districts that are in the nation. Very few allow children to evaluate their teachers, but they're finding that frequently that children, when they experience an excellent teacher, they know it, and they can be effective in giving feedback. So I hope that, and I imagine in the near future, we will incorporate the opinions of parents, teachers, other teachers, and the students in our evaluation of determining whether the teacher is doing an excellent job. And we want to reward those. We want there to be incentives for teachers who really are valuing the student and not teaching just to the test. They're teaching for valuable learning, and they're teaching for the child, the individual child. So I am against tenure, and for rewarding our excellent teachers.
Mr. Harper.
I am against tenure. I think that from my limited knowledge of how it works, we are legally bound by the teachers who are under tenure now. But I think we could abolish it, or at least have our legislature look at it and determine whether they can abolish it or not. Tenure it tends to make, I think that is a goal that a teacher can set out, and I don't think it's just limited to teachers. I'm not sure that it could be assistants and the whole educational employment family. So that sets a goal for them to make 10 years, and then they can glide in the rest of their time. And I think that could cause laziness and becoming an ineffective teacher. It's a detriment to our children, and I think that's where we need to focus our attention. What are our children getting out of teachers who reach tenure? So I am just against it, and I think that we need to put our children first.
Ms. King, 2 minutes.
All right. I think one of the first things that we have to think about is where tenure originated. Tenure originated in universities so that research could be provided. It wasn't originated as some safeguard for poor performers. It originated so that teachers, while they were teaching, would have the academic freedom to go out and find these diverse ideas, do the research that interested them, which contributes to the overall academic environment. We don't want students to come out with one perspective, one idea, one set of knowledge. We want them to have the best perspective, the best knowledge, but that's why tenure originated. Now, absolutely it's been abused, but I think somewhere in between there, I'm not willing at this point to say I'm completely against it, because I think in there is a healthy balance. One of the things, I worked at 4 Fortune 100 companies, and there was no tenure. You could show up and it's Wednesday and you're done so. But now working for the state, they do have a merit system of employment. And there are positives and negatives. One of the reasons that I believe that's in place is because of the challenges they face. They are uniquely situated. They have the entire public as their customer base coming at them. Teachers are the same way. They're like referees. The administrators, it's like referees. You're a loser every time. Someone is always angry with you. Someone is always going to be challenging your authority, challenging your opinions, challenging your decisions. I think that tenure ideally exists so that to ensure them due process. There is a healthy balance. You want to know how to motivate employees and motivate teachers. Well, there are 2 ways to motivate. Fear of losing a job, which tenure would deny, or awarding them more money. We can't really do either of those. So we have to find a better way to motivate other than, because if they're not going to be intrinsically motivated just out of conscientiousness, then that tenure might provide them the freedom to go and do the research they want, to bring in the things that are important to them. I think the contracts can be negotiated with the unions in a way that profits everyone.
Ms. Coleman, 2 minutes.
Let me say first that there is no place for a poor teacher in the classroom. And I believe I have sat on the negotiation team for the district for 5 years, and I have seen how the administration and the teachers work in a cooperative effort to come up with a process, a fair process of evaluation. In the past 5 years, I've seen more teachers relieved of their duties than ever before. So for that, it tells me that something's working. Now, I think we have to be cautious about judging our teachers by the test scores, because with all the budget cuts that we are experiencing right now, you have to remember that classes are increasing in size, our diversity is very great, and the teachers are faced with a formidable job at this point. So I think that we can continue to look at the process, continue to look at the evaluation tools that we have in place, and somehow modify them or perfect them. But I do agree that the administration, as well as the teachers in the district, have worked very hard to maintain the quality of teacher in the classroom.